So left off on number 7. As you meet today, revisit the purpose behind each of the map assignments in this class to sharpen your ethical lens and clarify how you understand your own communicative responsibility. Um, and so I felt like the first map was more introspective, or like I was looking more at like the internal ethics. And then the second map was more like external, right? Like um especially because we were looking at what was it? The tensions. There we go. So for myself, I feel like obviously map one kind of showed like the patterns in our life, relationships, communication, where there's excess and deficiency in all of our virtues. But for me, I did the compass diagram, and I felt like that was easier because, again, like looking at my patterns in communication, I can definitely tell like when I'm um when there's excess of one virtue or another. My virtues were like prudence, loyalty, and I'm forgetting the last one. But yeah, and so it was kind of cool to get to like doodle out or draw out, explain, like in my life, if there's excess prudence, it looks like whatever it does. And just kind of getting a visual made it feel kind of like a diagram or a blueprint of like when you notice you start doing this, maybe dial it back, or like focus on your virtues again and see how to adjust. And then map two was similar, right? It was just more external. So um same thing, just felt like a blueprint of how to kind of refocus and adjust um, to help me shape my communication with, like for map two, it was family, work, my community, things like that. Mm, yeah.
I like that the way you said how you can the first one like more external and the second one external, because I think that makes a lot of sense. And same in the first one for me was I did the golden mean, and it was easier to see what I was lacking and what I was maybe doing too much and try to find that balance. And then for the second one, I think I focused more on, I would say, foundations, or what my role models, such as like, I don't know, my parents, my coaches, how they have an influence on the way I am really. And even my culture, I think really interesting to see how my culture really shapes a lot of my identity. And yeah, in general, just made a lot of sense of how I communicate to people. And again, I like that, relating it to more internal for the first one, and then more the external factor for the second one.
No, I love that. Thank you for both for sharing. That helps. And the way you described about the internal, external, that also helped my brain. I feel like I had a harder time with the second one. Um, at least like grasping what I was supposed to do because I um just like the feedback I got, I was like, oh, I don't think I did this correct. So it's a really nice to hear like other people, like, oh, this is kind of what I was thinking. And yeah, I feel like with my second map, it was um like I didn't understand what I was trying to connect as much as I did the first one. And so the second one was a little harder for me, but you know, our third time, this next one that we're gonna do, it'll be redemption time. Maybe I'll understand it better. You know, I'll keep our fingers crossed for me. But it is interesting to hear like everybody's different takes. I feel like I think the first one I did was more of almost like a flow chart with like different groupings for the like the golden meat, you know, the good, the bad. And then with the second one, I was like trying to make it into a neighborhood, and I didn't fully get that part down. So yeah, this next one will be better, right?
Um, for me, I looked at the same. Like the first map was kind of a mirror of for me like what I do too much of or what I do too little of. And then the second one, I'm with you. I don't know if I quite got it. I did the tree. It was kind of looked at it of where from the roots where I got my ethical background now from the trunk. Um, and yeah, that's kind of how I looked at it.
I appreciate the transparency because I was also struggling with that one. I originally wanted to do the little neighborhood and I just couldn't wrap my brain around like making the tensions in there. I was like, I can see it, I just can't put it down on paper. So I also ended up going with the trees and I don't know.
Maybe that's the better one. That's the way to go. Okay. I'm avoiding neighborhoods next time because they should also like I'm terrible with directions. Like
Should have been his name. No.
I think it's my turn, right? For yeah, number 8. Reflect on the goal statement you crafted at the start of the term. Discuss any shifts or developments in your perspective on communication and dialogue that have occurred throughout the course of the term. At the start of the term, my goal was to improve communication in general, especially as an international student and learning a new language. I think I had a lot of challenges communicating to people, especially if I was not confident enough to talk because I was always afraid of making a mistake, or I don't know if afraid is the word, but maybe too shy. Because you always think what the other people's gonna think, or if they're gonna make fun of you or whatever. Um, and I think throughout the course, my perspective like shifted not only to be better communicating when I talk, but only when I listen to people. And I think understand that maybe what I'm thinking is super common and the other person can feel it too. So I think I try to focus more on build that trust, not really over too much um, about this, and just be honest and have like a genuine conversation with other people. I think that was the main key for me. And I think in general, I've seen a lot of improvements because I'm more calm when I talk to people, even with my teammates, because I'm in a new environment and I have my brother who plays in the team too, and it was easy for me to stay on my comfort zone and just talk to him and just be with him. But in the long term, I saw that I wasn't really making connections, I wasn't really making friends or just getting along with the team, and I try to shift that uh, as quick as possible. And I talk with my coach too as well. And I think yeah, just being honest, being more open with that was really good. I had like great outcomes, and now I'm just more involved in the team. I feel comfortable in general, not only when communicating, but just here feel it more like my second home too. So I think that was great.
I'm so glad to hear that, Diego. That's awesome. Um, yeah, I think that that's a great goal, but then also to realize that you can like make that connection with your teammates and your coach. And like, I think people want to help more than we realize, and so being able to be open and honest and be like, hey, this is kind of what I'm working towards. I think a lot more people are willing to help than, um, I don't know. My brain is always like, no, they don't want to do that, or somebody's gonna make fun of me or something like that. And I think that people are a little bit better than that than we give them credit for in our heads. So I'm glad to hear that it went well. Um, and yeah, I mean, for me, the goal statement kind of went over um, what I wanted to learn from this class being, I was trying to, I'm really connecting it to my job with human resources, and knowing that when you're human resources, you have to be that bridge between the company and the employees. And in order to do that ethically, I was like, this is going to be such a good class for me for that. And it just really made me think about things much more deeply than I realized that I was going to be as I went into it. I think that I was more up like, oh, ethical, like ethics. Okay. And then the more you get into it, it's everywhere. And it's not just my work that I can see benefits. Like I can see my ethical communication skills growing and it helping me with my wife, and being able to listen better. And like y'all were saying about like the just listening instead of just responding, listening for understanding and to grow and learn together. So I think that that's going to be a little bit more where when we come back to revamp the goal statement, um, my goal is to like add in more things instead of just about my work.
Yeah, I agree with you. My goal statement was kind of broad. It was just to learn, not communications major, but it never occurred to me how obviously communication is always going to be in my life, but how much this class really does help in what I want to do in the future. And so like ethics communications, I thought it was going to be a little more rigid in the sense that ethics seems so like formal. And so to learn that the class, excuse me, the class wasn't all about ethics. It was about um, really connecting it to your personal life. Like we all can say it helped us in our personal life with our just meaningful relationships, and even learning just how to listen, but being intentional with it. And nonverbal cues, I think, is the big part for me. Um, I can listen to a conversation, but kind of being more aware of my surroundings, aware of the people around me, um, with what they're telling me without telling me. Um, if they're quiet one day, just being a presence there, being letting them know that I am here, communicating in that way, and also being aware in conversations what that person needs. Um, yes, listening for an intent, but also sometimes someone just doesn't want to hear you speak, doesn't want any feedback. So being taking cues from within the conversation really really helped with my overall view of communication.
I really like that you say that, Victoria, because I definitely have a pattern of doing just that. I get into a class and they're like, okay, what do you want to learn? And I'm like, whatever's going to get me the grade, kind of thing. And so that is actually what I had put down for my goal statement, was, and I guess like in general, it would be like to start focusing more on, I vow relationships or transactions, right? Less I it. And so when I did that first goal statement, I was more focused on like how I talk to my professors and how I look at classes, right? Like I'm just here for the grade. This person is just going to get me the grade. Let's not make them annoyed or mad or anything like that. Like just put your head down and do what you got to do. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like a lot of the times I was stressed, I was annoyed, I was not enjoying my classes. And so coming back after taking a small break in my education, I have definitely kind of shifted. And this class just helped like give me, it feels like more tools to be able to take in all the information as like, how am I gonna apply this in my life, right? Um, yeah, so I guess that's the best way I could put it is that's the how did the question say it? The growth or the shifts that I'm focusing on, right? Like it's no longer transactional, it's more rooted in the ethical communication. Like how am I gonna take this material, the time, the energy that this professor has put into this class and apply it going forward, right? So yeah.
Yeah, that's I'm glad to hear that we all are getting more out of it than I think we all anticipated. And being present and being willing to learn is half of it, but like putting it into practice every day is hard. So I think that that's awesome. Okay. Now I believe it's my turn, and we're gonna everyone take a turn sharing your top 5 lists from week 6 through 8 that impacted your understanding. This can include vocabulary assignments, lectures, videos, podcasts, handouts, and readings. Be sure to note the week it comes from, explain the overall impact for you. And so I went back um, over, weeks 6 through 8 to kind of see what stood out to me from those weeks. And one of the things that was like the top one that I noticed was the what is the secret to happiness? And I think we all ended up picking it in some way or form or fashion at our last meeting. But with Jessica, and I can't remember her last name, but that I think really resonated with me just to see how to go about still being happy, even if life is throwing you a lot of curveballs. And so to see how she did that, it still stuck with me. So that was like the top of the list. I really like the vocabulary concept of social contract. And I think it's been interesting to see how people, relate it to their book reports too. I've seen some people applying the social contract to several different ones, but one that was most recent was just this last, I was just looking at it, a video by, I think her name is Aaliyah. Her book report, she just talked about the social contract and how marriage is a social contract, which I thought was yes. But then also, she pulled out that like there are some countries where I can't remember what country she referenced, but she was like, the violence for women was really high, and it's like a social contract within that country that's okay. Like violence against women is just part of the everyday. And that is its own social contract. And I just thought that was super interesting. Am I supposed to say all 5 things? I feel like I'm just talking for 7 years. But I also like the What a Wonderful World song. I mean, that's just a classic song. It's so good. And weeks 7, the concept of long-term thinking and environmental, like for us to be ethically, environmentally like conscious, we need to be more aware of the long-term impact that our decisions have. So that was mine.
Um, from week 6, I took the perspective taking. I think for me, that stuck out to me because it's something that I'm not very practiced in, but being able to get out of your perspective and try and get into someone else's perspective, just to understand and to maybe not even to understand, but just to bring feelings of empathy um, and reliability that they can come to you and find someone that's gonna take the time to really understand what they're talking about. So I like that. And then week 7, again, uh, Kap, Kapu Aloha. It holds one of like core beliefs that I have, of love, respect, and nonviolence. So I really appreciate that. And then week 8, the yin and yang, however he said, didn't say it right, but that video, it it really shows that you can't have one without a little bit of the other, and that everything's kind of interconnected, and just trying to find that state of um, understanding between both, kind of how the world works. But very interesting video. I appreciate that one.
Mhm. You guys are making me a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like both of you guys really put together with it. So the some of the material that I had chose was from week 5. It was that By Now, that Netflix trailer that we watched. But I actually appreciated that a little bit more because obviously that week we were talking about like ethical communication, like macroethics, microethics, and then fast forward to I think it was like week 7, right? Yeah, we started talking about environmental ethics, and I know they were not like in the same week because they had like different purposes, but I just appreciated how easily they were able to kind of like flow back and forth, right? I also really appreciated week 6, bell hooks. I'm trying to find it. Yeah, bell hooks love ethic. Just because I feel like it's really, I don't want to say the basis of what we're learning here, but it was a big takeaway for me, right? Like without love, respect, community, like we can't grow from there, right? Like um and one I think that would be it. Yeah. Because I was focused on the micro ethics and macro ethics, which were also part of week 5, I believe. Just because, again, I feel like map 1 and 2 was pretty focused on that, internal, external. So,
Yeah, there, I think I'm gonna maybe repeat some concept, but yeah, like I like the social contract concept. I think it was really interesting, and um, I think I agree that it's really interesting to see how people connected to the readings and how you can connect it to different situations. And I like it because I think it explains why we accept authority. And I think that was really interesting, kind of see that shared agreement that we have. And then, well, stewardship again, just because I like to see the broader concept, not only from the way I knew, and see how we can connect it to communication, respect, and care to others. Um, Also, the podcast of the Alain Button, I really like it, and I think the main takeaway from that was understanding that care and love is not perfect, but it requires patience and willingness to just, I mean, work it out. I mean, actually with more effort from your part, listen, and as I said before, not react before you understand or listen to them. And I really like that. And then I like the Eastern philosophy. I think it is really interesting, and it's like I think it's like peaceful to read and understand that philosophy the way they do and explain things. I like how it's focused on that like inner transformation. Um, and for the same reason, I also like the bamboo as wisdom, just because I think it's such a like simple thing, but it's really like shows the resilience and flexibility in communication and difficult moments. So I think it's it's interesting. Yeah, I like.
Okay, I think I have 10. I don't know how we quite want to do this one, but top 10 class materials compilation. As a group, compile a list of your top 10 class materials. This list should encompass a variety of resources such as videos, articles, books, lectures, and assignments that you found the most impactful throughout the course. Make sure to include the week when each material was covered. As you talk, make sure you explain the choices. The discussion should be collaborative decision-making process, not just individual inflections shared side by side. Um,
I tried to take little notes of different things that people were bringing up. And it sounded like we already do have kind of a consensus. Like we kind of shared some similar themes that we all pulled, like social contract. I think that we all kind of got something from that, it seemed. Um, the yin and yang. I mean, I think three of us spoke about that one. So I was thinking like maybe if we just like try to connect all of the, like we could make up the list of the things that we kind of seem to have in common. That's
Yeah,
my
I think
idea.
that
I
would
don't
be
know how we
good.
want to do it.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Um, do we need to, it says for everyone to submit the list. I'm assuming that's the list she wants, right?
That's what I gathered as well. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
We
that's what I was
could
gathering as
just
well.
use the shared document we have in that email and just kind of continue with the
Yeah,
list there and then copy and paste the list into our submission. I don't know if that would help. I'm very
I
visual.
like that.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think that.
No, I was thinking that. I was like, we could definitely use a shared doc thing, and we already have the one going. Now I'm trying to remember. But that's a good idea. We could kind of just like add some things to that. Um, there's, oh, actually, you know what? Why don't I just share what I've got so far? That might be easier. I don't know. Do we want to do that? That'll
I think
work.
that would work, yeah.
Okay. Because the other one's so nice. I'm like, I don't want to delete that. That's a nice list. Uh, and my computer wanted to stop. That. Um,
Do you wanna, is it like a Google Doc?
yes.
Do you wanna send
Um,
the link in the chat?
yes. Thank you. You are very smart.
I appreciate the compliment. I feel like I'm just lazy about it.
Oh,
Typing everyone's
yeah,
email, having everyone click on it.
right. No, that's way easier. I was like trying to like give everybody access or something, and then I was gonna have to remember everyone's email addresses, and it was just getting out of control. So I appreciate you saying like, oh, just drop it there. Yes. Okay. And
How long did you say the list you had so far was, Tila?
so I am gonna delete from the 9, but right now we've got, I felt like we had all talked about that video of Jessica, The Secret to Happiness.
Yeah.
So I was gonna leave that one on there. I was gonna leave social contract on just from the couple things that I had. And then the one, so that's 2. And then we've got I wrote down the Kapualoa. I think I may have spelled it wrong. I was just trying to like type up little things as y'all were saying it. But I felt like that was something that I also really enjoyed as well. So we could leave that on. So that's 3. The yin and yang video is 4. Um, and then something else that I thought of was I think we all several of us talked about the trolley problem from The Good Place.
Mm.
So that was from week 3. So I had written that down earlier. So I think we've got like 6, and then there's a couple other things that I just typed out, and I just don't want it to be like this is now Seela's list. I'm like y'all throw some stuff on there too. Don't make it just me. Jerry, you're okay. Come inside. Come on. Sorry, my dog.
Um, I'm kind of liking the idea of putting in one of the map assignments or two. It's supposed to be like, oh, top 10. I don't know. I really liked both, and as similar as they were also really quite different when it came to that reflective piece. So yeah, like 2 blueprints, but for different things. So I don't know how you guys would feel about that, but
I like the map idea. Me personally, I think I did better with the first map, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Do y'all know what weeks those were?
let's
I'll throw it on the list because I'm trying to keep the weeks up. And yeah,
mm, nah. 2.0 was week 6.
weeks.
Week 3 for map 1.
Thank you. 3. Perfect. So
I was gonna say also the I do and I ate idea maybe, which is something I think we talk maybe in
yeah,
every meeting, and it was I think
yeah,
I
that one
think that
seemed
was
to really
really good.
stick out to us.
Yeah. I don't
Absolutely.
remember which
Um,
week was it. So,
um, so look up the week for that. Um, we also several of us mentioned the Buy Now video. I think that like our last, that was something else that I was like, oh, I think that was week 5.
Yes.
Okay, so then,
The I, thou, I, it was week 2.
thank you.
Mhm.
I feel like we should throw in some songs. I'm not gonna lie. But those, I don't know, those
Okay.
are fun, but
Which songs did y'all like?
um,
I don't know. I feel like a couple of us mentioned like the price tag one.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Was that week 6?
Maybe.
Week 5.
Thank Perfect. And then I'm gonna make them all the same font. It's driving me insane. You said week